Now, not just music, but I think art in general now. You've got, because you've got so much content and there's so much art available, if you're this week's kind of fashionable thing, you know, be it writer, musician, whatever, you're okay. If you've got, but to balance that out, people want something with some foundations and some heritage. So if you've got 15, 20, 25 years of back catalogue and heritage, you're okay. If you're somewhere in the middle, if you've been around 5 or 6 years, then it's really difficult because you're neither the fresh new thing and you haven't got enough heritage. And luckily, I kind of fall into the heritage thing. So I get a, you know, on many levels, my friend. so you know, so I kind of represent that, the antithesis of the kind of. I'm guessing, I don't know. It's the straw that I'm clutching to as the music industry disappears around me. But I think that's what it is. People want the throwaway, but they want something. You know, it's why you get a lot of bands now, heritage bands. You know, you get a lot of bands reforming and filling out big venues because people want something to counteract that throwaway free content.
Is that why vinyl's coming back in
well, yeah, but to a degree, it won't ever get back to the way it was because we still want objects that are imbued with magic. Well, you know, as great as files are, it's like saying to the fellow over here, you know, if you get an old record and it's scratched, it's almost like listening to ghostly magnetic recordings of who's had it before. And it has, yeah, but I love that. You know, I love that. That's me. I love the. I'd rather watch a Super 8 film because the simplest things on Super 8 is someone's old holiday film, the simplest things on Super 8, because of the grainy nature of it, has such a beautiful, otherworldly, ghostly, timeless spirit to it that you don't get with obviously high definition. You know, because you can see everything. You don't have to use your imagination. You don't have to fill in the gaps. And it's the same with music. When it's got that sheen, that noisy kind of crack and pop and pop, it just sounds like the music is coming out of a ghostly kind of ether. But that's just that's the personal thing for me. Some people do like ultra clean digital sound and vision, but to me, there's no mystery in it. It's too, you know, you know, the best horror stories, best horror films, and art in general works when you have to do a little bit of work yourself and fill in the gaps. And when everything is pristine and digital and cleaned up, there's no way for your imagination to go to. Now, I still enjoy the struggle because when we started Love from Outer Space, you know, playing 110 BPM kind of cosmic disco was not really what a lot of people wanted. You know, they want, and especially if they saw my name, they expected a certain kind of style, faster style, and I kind of loved that. It kind of reminded me of back when I first started playing disparate sorts of music, and sometimes being harangued by people and people not getting it. And when we first started Love from Outer Space, I did get the same feeling as when I first started DJing, because we're starting with a project that is kind of going against the grain of what's going on, but we just stuck to our guns. And I think we kind of provide an alternative to what other scene. I don't even consider it a scene. We just do our thing. There just happened to be loads of really good down-tempo music, and we started playing it. And I think people have come on board. But I feel, yeah, when I'm doing a Love from Outer Space stuff, I still get the feeling of how it was when I first started DJing, because although I'm mixing, I'm still playing kind of disparate sorts of music. You know, it's not just techno, it's not just house. I think that's kind of reignited my. I never really lost the love for DJing, but it kind of flounders sometimes. But that's reignited my enthusiasm for DJing, that whole project. So I'm glad it's catching on. I've not been to Ibiza for I really can't remember the last time I went. It's just not for me. Don't get me wrong. You know, each to their own, and I had some great times. But I just don't think, you know, I don't know, Matt. You know, perhaps I'm missing out, but I get the impression that I'm not really. You know, if I was 25 years younger and single, I'd be out there like a shot, I'd imagine. But, well, yeah, I mean that's you know, I'd rather do that the Electric Elephant, the Croatia thing. It is, yeah. Well, it's not just that. It's kind of unsullied. It's as Norman Jay so beautifully put it. Croatia is like Ibiza before it went shit, was his very words. You know, that's yeah, and that's the, you know, that's the feeling I get. You know, I've got nothing against commerciality of clubbing, but I I mean, I read, I picked up a copy of DJ recently, and the editorial said the competition has never been more intense, and this Ibiza thing, as if it was like a sort of trade magazine. They were talking about, I don't know, double glazing or something. And that's, if you want to reduce it to that, then that's fine. That's and you want to turn it into a business and you want to make a shitload of money, far be it from me because it is a lot of hard work. But it just doesn't appeal to me as somewhere to go. If someone said, "Oh, we're having a little private party on the other side of the island," but that just won't happen because it's locked down. The whole thing, you couldn't just set up a little party somewhere. You just couldn't do it because it's so locked down between the club owners and the authorities, and
So you were saying that you're becoming aware now of being 50.
Yeah.
And how long can and do you think it will go on for you going out there and playing records? Do you think it will be a thing right till the end of your life now?
I sincerely hope not. No, it's that classic. For the last 10 years, I thought I'll calm down a little bit, but the phone keeps ringing. So I know it's a bit of a showbiz cliche, but I'll stop working when the phone stops ringing. I think. Great. But I still enjoy it. I mean, that's when I had my record collection. When I was 11 or 12, 13 years old, I would invite people around my house to play music because it's very vampiric, that thing. I will never have that thrill of hearing that record for the first time again. But if I look into the eyes of someone else, someone that is having that experience I had, they're hearing it for the first time. It's not as good, obviously. It's a second-hand. It's living vicariously, but there's still a certain thrill when you when you see people. Whether it's just around your house and you're playing them stuff, or whether it's in a club full of people and you're playing something new. That's just a feeling I like. And I suppose I'll DJ as long as I still have that need to feed off other people's energy, especially young people.
So what are you going to be playing as tonight then?
Well, I think Craig was a little bit worried because I said, "Well, what's the score?" He went, just some fucking weird electronic shit or something like that.
So rockabilly then?
Yeah. And I said to him, I reckon I'll have everyone on the table singing along to Mott the Hoople's "Roll Away the Stone." And he laughed, but it had a slight nervous edge to it. Oh, you're not, are you? Yeah.
Bring on the
but also, I mean, I was going to make up CDs, but I thought, well, no, I'll bring the vinyl. So the majority of it's vinyl. I've got some rockabilly, some dub, some kind of post-punk stuff, some glam rock. 80-90% of it on vinyl. I'm surprised you didn't see the dust cloud that emitted.
Big pen style.
As I blew the dust off my original copy of Mott the Hoople's greatest hits. I'm surprised the dust cloud didn't go up the M1 and shroud Leeds in a kind of in the dust from my record collection. I'm very fond of Dan Avery, the DJ. He seems to have a similar attitude to myself. He seems to be a self-sabotaging non-careerist like myself. But no, he has a certain enthusiasm and a similar musical taste to myself. No, he works in my studio. If he asks me something, I don't see myself as any sort of mentor or anything. I think it might be a bit patronising. If he wants to ask me advice, then I'll offer my advice. But he kind of reminds me a little bit of how I was back then, but he seems to be a little bit more less prone to foolishness, let's say, as I was when I was his age. Well, no, his personal bohemia will erode, obviously, as you get older. They always do. And I'm playing with him in London. We're doing a back-to-back thing, I think, in London in a couple of weeks' time. But he's a kind of he reminds me a little bit of myself. But he's a little bit more a little more grounded than I was at his age, shall we say.
It is always.
Shall I play some tunes?
Yeah, play some tunes. Andrew Weatherall.